a gift kind of guy in the face. You got to go ahead and, and take what's best out there. So we were able to get that done.
Coach, you got a lot of running backs on this list, and I know that's part of the offensive makeup of this group. Just how important was it for you to bring in that stable of running backs here?
It was important, but the running back group is always kind of a little bit of a mirage of sorts when you start talking about what they'll actually be, because we like signing running backs because Joe Thomas was a running back here, and that guy's a linebacker, and Darius was a wide receiver, kind of a tight end, kind of big fullback kind of guy. So, those guys, are good guys to have on your football team because they're spread out throughout your team. Those guys that don't necessarily, look at the at the position of running back as being a gotta be kind of deal. They can move around some of your team and they make your special teams better. So I like the idea of signing running backs because they got not only they play running back, but they make good other positions too, defensive backs and linebackers and stuff like that.
So just the man that gets get them in as athletes and you can use them where you need to.
Yeah. You got to figure out how to, get the best available athlete, in the places like this, and then at that point, then you get them kind of spread out through your team in different places, and you find that they end up being the best players on most of the teams. It's just that you might rather take a running back from a school, who's a good player than a defensive back from someplace else because, he might be a better defensive back than the guy who's playing defensive back. It's just that he was a running back on his team because he was the very best player on his team.
How about just while on the offensive side? I mean, you wanted to fill some holes, get offensive linemen, you got a quarterback in. I mean, how is that just to beef up the offense? And
well, we're hoping that's the the main ingredient in what we got done today. The fact that we've got a quarterback or two. Tyrese Nick is an athletic, all kind of guy. He's really special, and you really wonder, whether or not he can come in here and have some kind of effect on us early, in his career. Because one of the guys that called one of their games during the season, one of the officials, is a friend, and he was just amazingly impressed by this guy, and the way he carried himself and the way he played, and then talking from some of the local coaches in the area that played against this guy, they all just raved about his ability and his maturity, his knowledge of what the heck he was doing, that kind of stuff. So, I think we end up getting a guy there that might be a pretty early impact guy, within our process that way. We took the Dwayne Nichols guy that we took, he's also a Lakeview kid, from over in the PD, was also a quarterback. Got hurt during the season. We don't know what he is. We recruited him as a defensive back, but he was actually an all-star team kind of a quarterback also. The problem with him is that he played a little bit of everything too. He's a bigger athlete too, kind of guy. Kind of reminds you of a Cleve McCoy kind of size guy, close to about a 200-pound guy. I think they got him listed as 190, but I think he weighed about 200 pounds when he was here, on his visit. So, he may be a guy that we maybe at some point or other, if we needed to, move back in that direction too. But right now, we think he's either a defensive back or some other kind of skill position, maybe even on offense.
Coach, let's talk about this class as a whole. Obviously, the focal point for you guys was just kind of making sure you guys got in-state product.
Yeah, that was a strange kind of occurrence, not doing much of anything. And we have a lot of schools who had guys that, generally can expect South Carolina State to come in and take players from their schools from out of state that we, were not able to do that with this year. And, it's a different kind of sensation of sorts, having, those guys. But now when we get these guys, we think, not only a football player, but we go back to recruiting an area, that we can get those folk who may have seen this guy play in high school be close enough to us now that he can come in and see us play, because of the connection you have with that particular kid. So, we think that we've got something here that we'd like to try to at least explore and try to expand on at some point or other. Maybe try to get another class of South Carolina kids, at some point or other. I think you always have to go outside and find a particular need that you couldn't satisfy, in state, and we may still, something may happen to one of these guys. We may have some kind of, uncertainty of sorts, and we have to, maybe go out and get a guy that way. But right now, we like to try to see if we can make this happen, and if we can, then it would be a big success for us financially, because it's so much cheaper to bring an in-state guy into a state school now than it is to bring an out-of-state guy in.
So I guess from that standpoint, not only from just bringing guys in from around certain areas and having their families closer to come in and watch these games, but I guess moving forward, it gives teams in the area an opportunity to say, hey, you have an opportunity to play here as well.
Of course it does. We've got great championship subdivision level football in this state, with the Waffles and the Charleston Southern, the Citadels, all those guys being right here. And with South Carolina turning out the kind of product that it does, it saturates us pretty good. So it scares you a little bit trying to most recruit in state, because we do get in some pretty stiff battles with most of these guys. But if we can continue to be this kind of success with these kind of guys, because the proof will be in the pudding, it'll be what kind of team we actually produce, with these guys on the road, then I think it'll be a win-win for both us and the young men that we're recruiting, because it gives them a chance to have some place they know they can go and play. And it gives us a chance that we can go to get some guys that will not cost us an arm and leg and some other body parts.
For this class here, you filled some holes on the defensive line like you wanted to, and you loaded up on defensive backs. Like I said, they may play somewhere else later, but that gives you a lot to work with. So how does that help for the defense?
Well, let's hope that we can get these guys developed and ready to go pretty quickly. We've got really good defensive line personnel on this group. The Halter-Wong, a young man from over at White Knoll, is a good football player. And Xavier Johnson, those guys are, are bigger guys, than we actually, thought they were. When he came in, when we were recruiting these guys, they were supposedly 6 foot and 190 pounds and 215 pounds, stuff like that. When we got Xavier here in height and weighted him, he was 239, so we were happy. The Halter-Walker we thought was a 225, 230 guy. Heck, he was 255. So, these guys get to be, pretty good sized guys. A lot of times after they get done playing their high school football, that Christmas holiday period in there is when they start to put on some weight and get a little bit bigger. I think I might have done a little of that myself, but at the same time, these guys are a little bit bigger guys. So, Khalid Moore, was another guy, something high guys, an offensive line guy. We signed some good looking line prospect guys, so, this is exciting to have these guys be local guys that can get in here and really get going here pretty quick.